Good morning, fellow travelers. Welcome back to our Big's Adventure. This morning, we are going to make banana bread. We're going to make gluten-free banana bread, and we're also going to make regular banana bread. So as you can see, I have a ridiculous amount of frozen bananas that I took out of my freezer. And for those of you who are following along, I am trying to do a almost no spend grocery month. I'm going to do a super low spend grocery month. It is December 5th, and I have spent zero so far this month in groceries. I'm going to have to shop eventually, but I'm trying to keep it as low as I can. So, I have pans. These are my gluten-free pans, and then these are, they say recovery on them because I often take banana bread to my recovery meetings. And then I've got some beautiful organic cane sugar. Here's my gluten-free flour. Now, I bought this obviously in June of 2020. That's why it has that date on it. And this is the only flour that I use for gluten-free baking. It's cup for cup. I absolutely love it. And it was recommended to me by a lady who did semi-professional baking. And it was the only thing she used. And I just love it. I love this flour. And it doesn't make me sick, which is also nice. Eggs. I picked up this butter at Aldi's the week before Thanksgiving for $1.69, so I'm pretty excited to be using that this morning. There's that sour cream that was in the refrigerator. I have 3 tubs of random sour cream. We don't eat dairy very often, so I've got to use it up. And here is my basket. This stays in my cupboards just like this, and it's got my baking powder. It's got my baking soda, molasses, vanilla, cinnamon, salt, and some spices that I use more regularly. Of course, my KitchenAid mixer. And then this is just regular flour from Aldi's. So let's get to it. Check out this pour recipe card. I have had this card for 25 years. I made this banana sour cream cake for my kids as they were growing up, and I copied it out of a Taste of Home magazine. I've got to say at least 25 years ago. So I really, really like this recipe, and I don't know if I can even find it online, but it does have sour cream in it, and I've made it so many times that I don't really even need the recipe anymore, but I always get the card out. It reminds me of when my sons were little, and I make this a lot for my recovery meetings. Everybody really likes it. It's a super moist banana bread. All right, let's get into it. I'm quadrupling the original recipe, so double and then double. I'm creaming my butter and my sugar, and now adding my eggs, and I'm putting in 4 eggs. They're the little blue chicken eggs from my little chickens. Quadrupling the recipe will mean half of a container of sour cream. Just kind of put that in there, and I'll save the other half for the gluten banana bread. You need 4 cups of gluten-free flour. So we'll get all that in there. I love these measuring spoons. I got these at an antique fair with my mother-in-law, and they are probably from the 1950s or 60s, I think. And quadrupling this recipe means 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. This is a super simple recipe, and it comes together so easily. You don't really have to fuss with it or sift your flour, anything like that. Little pinch of salt, and this is pure Mexican vanilla, and I'm putting in a whole tablespoon of that because I just think it adds to it. Then next up, I'm gonna put in the bananas. Now, I had an embarrassing amount of frozen bananas in my freezer, and once I started cleaning it out, I realized how many there were. I knew that I needed almost an intervention for frozen bananas. I think there comes a point in every woman's life where she's either going to make the banana bread or throw the bananas in the garbage, and I was right at that point. I'm going to add a whole bunch of cinnamon. Mr. Biggs loves cinnamon in his banana bread, and it calls for it. So I don't measure out the bananas. I know by this recipe how it's supposed to look when it's ready. So I did add one more. Time to put the banana bread into the pans. I'm just going to grease them up, and I use the wrapper that the butter came in. I don't use Pam or any other kind of cooking spray because it just doesn't agree with me with my food allergies. I'm gonna split the mix half and half. And like I said before, I do have special pans for baking just gluten-free things in. I have pans that I use for, regular baking with full gluten, but I don't like to cross-contaminate my pans just because I know how I feel when that happens and it's not the best. There was a little bit of mix left over, so I decided to make myself 3 little muffins for a late morning snack while I work on the computer. I sometimes put brown sugar or cinnamon sugar on the top of these little muffins. Mr. Biggs likes that, but I knew that these were going to be for me, and I think that they're sweet enough with just the banana and the sugar in the mix. And I did end up eating 2 of these, and I saved one for Mr. Biggs from when he got home from hunting on Saturday morning. All right, I saved you watching me do the gluten banana bread because it literally is the exact same as the gluten-free. You just use the regular flour from Aldi's, just an all-purpose flour. I don't sift it. You don't need to. This is a super quick bread recipe, and I've even used applesauce instead of frozen bananas. Okay, it is 10 minutes of 9, and I'm pretty much exactly where I hoped I would be. Everything is in the oven. My gluten-free loaves have a nice crack on the top, and they're almost done. Muffins are almost done. Regular bread, the gluten bread, will be done in about, about 45 minutes. I have these pretty little banana muffins for myself. I'm almost done with my first quart of water for the morning. Got myself a cup of decaf. And I'm ready to sit down and do some live continuing education for my professional license. I am a nationally certified pharmacy technician, and my certification is due December 31st, so I got to get cracking on those. It is now 10 o'clock, and on the blue towel I have my gluten-free banana breads, and on the green towel there is the gluten banana breads with a few extra muffins. I just texted my son, who rents the house next door to me, and he said that he definitely would like one of those loaves. He is not gluten-free, so he'll take one of those, and I'll probably send a few of the muffins with a friend of mine on Sunday evening when I see him. So there we have it. Baking banana bread on a Saturday morning. Remember, everybody, enjoy your journey.